Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. And in another report, I talked about a day I walked along the Grass River and a family was so kind to me. But I also said that day had another memory for me. And I got to tell you about the muskie dance. And that's what really stood out to me. Okay, I wasn't fishing for muskie. When I go and fish along the grass and I'm waiting, I'm fishing for smallmouth bass. I have light tackle, light line, and little bitty lures. And on this particular day, I was using a 4-inch, really thin purple or pinkish looking worm that Walmart had a little end cap, and they were selling them really cheap. And I thought, wow, maybe these would work in the Grass River. I had a 1-0 hook that had it rigged Texas style where the hook point was kind of buried a bit. And I'd caught several smallmouth. I can't tell you it was the best smallmouth lure I've used for fishing the river, but it was really working and it was different. And it gave those fish that didn't want the little crayfish and bug-looking things another choice. So I get to this fairly, it's a deeper pool. It still isn't deep water, but it's deeper. It's too deep for me to wade. And usually these spots aren't as good for bass because the bass are in the shallower water where there's more oxygen, there's current moving, there's more bait. The longer pools are sort of recessed places, I guess. I don't know. But I throw out there, and the worm, it is so light that it doesn't sink very quickly or very much. So as I'm sort of jerking it and bringing it back, I see a swirl near where I think the worm is. And I thought, well, that seemed like a pretty good fish. But before I could even think much more, my rod started to bend. And I thought, okay, I struck back. And I'm thinking, nice bass. And then this nice bass catapulted out of the water, all close to 4 feet of him. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit here, but it was a really big muskie that had hit that tiny little worm, and now I was into a battle. In a battle I wasn't really prepared to win because, number one, I have no net. Number two, I've got no wire lead or anything, just a little fluorocarbon leader tied onto the worm. I had no way to get the hook out of its mouth if I ever got it to me. I had no way really to pick it or grab it or hold it with these giant fangs and teeth that are in muskies. And so I was along for the ride. I let him or her take me on its very special muskie dance. And did that fish ever dance? It came out of the water, all 40 inches of it, whatever it was. I'm going to say it's about 20 pounds. But anyway, out of the water, dancing on its tail. And it didn't go too far from me. It stayed, I was able to keep it within 20 feet of me. And the whole time I'm standing in water between my knees and my hips, in my hip boots. And me and the fish are together in the water. And it was really winning. I had no clue. As I got it closer, I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I grab the line with my hand and I can sort of ease it up. And I didn't even have what you would call any decent pliers. I have these little tiny pliers with sort of wire cutters that work wonderful to cut my line. So every time I change a hook, these are the pliers I use, and they're around my neck on a lanyard. So I stick my head down because the thing is around my neck. One hand is still holding the rod and the fish. And I stick my neck down, and I try to take the pliers near the hook, and the muskie decides to make its, I don't know how many jumps. It jumps out of the water, almost hits me in the face. Down it comes, and when it came down, the hook pulled free. All my worries were gone. The muskie happily swam. I don't know if they ever are happy, but anyway, it started to swim away, and I thought, wow. What an experience. Nobody would believe it. They think to fish muskies, you got to use great big lures and big treble hooks. And here I am with a tiny little skinny worm, a little bitty hook, and I just had the muskie dance of a lifetime. And now I'm sharing it with you. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.